Good morning, internets. I'm gonna do my best to keep smiling, even though it's been a little rough. So for those of you who follow the Facebook page and the Instas and all that, you already know that I was in a car accident yesterday. Before anybody asks, no, I was not filming when I was in the accident. I was just on my way home from work. And like I said, I am okay. I am extremely happy with the safety features in this here 2012 Chevy Volt because I am okay. And I'm extremely grateful that the other driver is all right. Blew up a bunch of plastic pieces. Bumper got taken off of her car, and I'm about to show you what happened to Alessandro. So let's go ahead and have a look at how he's doing. So you can see here, poor Alessandro. This accident was my fault, according to the police who showed up, and they are the experts, so I'm certainly not about to argue with them because they know what they're doing. I always do my best to drive carefully and, you know, both hands on the wheel all the time, and I'm never like looking down at my phone or anything when I'm driving. And this is the first time I've ever been in an accident like this. I've literally never been in any kind of collision or anything serious like this at all. And I'm super bummed out, but this is the reason that we have insurance. Cars can be fixed, but people cannot be fixed or replaced. So I'm grateful about that. But I do want to show you guys something kind of cool. The thing that I want to show you that is kind of cool is this is the front grille piece right here, and this is the piece on most of these Volts that is silver when it's stock, and I plasti dipped this thing black like within 3 days of having gotten the car. And aside from some dirt, like once you wipe all the dirt off, there's no nicks or scratches or dents in this piece. The piece did get knocked out and off the car completely, but the plasti dip itself is completely intact. So for those of you who are like, and I've gotten these messages before, like, are you sure you want to run your car through a high pressure car wash with plasti dip on it? The answer is yes. Yes, you do, because it's apparently just fine. Of all of the parts on the car that were contacted, the pieces that I put in the plasti dip are fine. So like this is where that piece used to go, was right here. And this is my bow tie that is usually the gold Chevy bow tie, and I blacked this out as well, and it is in perfectly fine shape. So all the grill pieces got popped out and broken off. All the clips that retain them on the car got smashed out, but the pieces themselves, anything that was covered in plasti dip, totally fine. It really makes me want to dip my entire car. So if you don't follow the Dip Your Car channel, I'll do my best to link it in the description. You should definitely follow Dip Your Car. That's what those guys do. They're pro plasti dippers. And they're freaking amazing. And now I want to dip my entire car because apparently it will make it damage proof. But the car still runs. It tracks perfectly straight. Like I really expected the alignment to be off with, I mean, like obviously we made contact right up in the front driver quarter here, and I thought that for sure my alignment would be jacked up or something, and it's not. From the inside of the car, I cannot tell anything at all. I expected there to be a bunch of issues because like parking sensors up front are, like you can see here, that the parking sensors, those little circles are where the parking sensor is supposed to be, and they're not there now. And so I expected like maybe the car to throw me a bunch of really angry codes about it. It did not, and it just says parking assist off. And the only major damage like to anything that retains fluids is the washer fluid. The washer fluid reservoir broke out and dumped fluid everywhere. And at the scene of the accident, I see fluid all over the ground. I'm like, oh no! But it was washer fluid. It was not trying to get all perked up and filled with smiles for the day, but my baby is hurt, and I'm understandably bummed out about that. Also, I have another video in the can that is ready to go live. It's going to go live after this one because it would be very confusing. I made the video Monday morning. The wreck happened yesterday, Tuesday night. And so that video will go live after this video. I want to get this up first because it's news about Alessandro. And we'll get back to our regular EV news, and I'll keep you guys updated about how the car is doing and the process of getting him all fixed up. And has anybody else been in this situation before? I want to hear stories from people who have more experience with this than I do, because this is not something I've ever been through before, and I'm super bummed out about it. I'm also hurt in my spirit and my self-esteem because a mistake I made, a failure to maintain proper lane of travel right after a yield sign, cost a bunch of damage and a bunch of money, and knocked the bumper off of somebody else's car, and dropping stuff, knocked the bumper off of somebody else's car and spun them around, and everybody got scared, and everybody had a really bad day because of a mistake I made, and I feel really terrible about that. So any advice or experience anybody else has that they'd like to share, I'd be welcome to hear it. Also, as anybody else, like, we have this blind spot window up here, right here in this car to help with the pillar blindness, but I lose things in this pillar all the time. Right here, there's actually a pretty decent blind spot here, even though they carved the window and the door to try to help with that. Oh, it's actually started to rain out here. That's interesting. So has anybody else had trouble with blind spots in the Gen 1 Volt? Because, and I'm not blaming it, you have to check your blind spots. You got to be aware of that stuff. That's on me for sure. But I want to know if any of my other Volt guys out there have any problems with blind spots in the Volts. And other than that, I think I'm going to leave it there. So if this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll have better news later. Please consider subscribing right over here. Here's some other things I think you'll enjoy right down here. My name is Catherine. This is EVs of Nevada. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.